we're going to have the sorbet cleansing of the palate. For those of you who don't know, this is totally irrelevant news. I know some people say they like pull that things from The Simpsons. Just don't look. Just don't look when you want to beat the media. Just don't watch it, and eventually the mainstream media will just wither away. For those of you who don't know, Dylan Mulvaney just won the Woman of the Year award. It was offered by some magazine, and it brought me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Attitude magazine. Okay, here we go. Attitude magazine named Dylan Mulvaney their Woman of the Year. Attitude magazine. It was sponsored by Virgin Airlines or Virgin, one of the Virgin, ironic name, but Virgin Mobile or Virgin Airlines, whatever. They named Dylan Mulvaney Woman of the Year. I guess actually before we do that, let's go to Dylan's speech. The whole thing is just it's just such a the emperor has no clothes. You can only but laugh at this, but it's a real thing. Here we go. Look at this. I mean, it's almost more fun to watch it without audio. Oh my God. Jeez Louise, we're not watching the entire thing. Whew, that scared the bejesus out of me. Look at this. Let's go here. Virgin Atlantic. Is that the phone or is that the airline? Oh, whatever.
The Woman of the Year award, supported by Virgin Atlantic, goes to Dylan Mulvaney.
Hello, London! I am so honored to be here with you all tonight. And, some see me as the Woman of the Year. Some see me as a woman of a year and some change, as I only publicly came out online 560 days ago. And some people don't see me as a woman at all. I know, which is why receiving this honor from a queer publication like Attitude means so much more to me. Because here's what I've realized. You ready? Okay. So
you guys can go watch it. So that's what happened. And I don't care. I don't care in the best possible sense. I don't care what any grown adult wants to do with themselves. I don't care. Live your best life. Be happy so long as it doesn't impact other people. When you start having awards that were intended to be for a specific demographic, for obvious reasons that are now being given to people not of that demographic. Now, some people are going to say it's a queer magazine, Viva. Why do you care? I don't care, except for the absurdity of the entire situation that you have a crowd of people looking at someone that they know is a man, that they know has the man bits, that they know for the better part of his life lived a man and will always live a man despite what he identifies as, now taking an award, accepting an award, basically laughing at women out there and saying, "Hardy hard, joke's on you, now I get your award. And if you don't go along with this gag, you get canceled, you get vilified, and the people who say live and let live will not let you live your life and let live. They will cancel you for not accepting that a man is now accepting the Woman of the Year award." I mean, it's outlandish and preposterous on its face. It is the emperor walking around naked, and everyone's like, "Yeah, beautiful robe, Mr. Emperor." And you got one kid who states the obvious, and it shocks the conscience of the adults who are playing along with the gag so they can all seem virtuous, tolerant, yada, 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 and so on. So, having seen that video, I don't know how I fell into this rabbit hole, but I came across another video, which was Dylan Mulvaney. I mean, it's just another video from a year ago. This is from April when I found it, April 2022. And again, this is not making fun of any adult who wants to identifies as me. We grew up, there were cross-dressers when we were kids. There were transvestites when we were kids. What is amazing about the culture in which we are currently living is that it is being used as the pretext in the search for victimhood, because victimhood has become a social currency of sorts that people are vying for. And when they don't have victimhood, they've got to manufacture their victimhood. So much so, I'm going to play this one all the way through because this illustrates it. And ironically enough, it illustrates the quest for victimhood, not even through the purported struggle of identifying as thinking you're a woman when you're not. In another way, which I'm going to see if everybody can astutely observe the patent insanity and hypocrisy of this short 45-second TikTok.
I recently told my parents that I may be a little bit romantically interested in women. And that was a big shock for them, considering the past 10 years of coming out as gay, then queer, then non-binary, then trans. And I think it was just a bit of a shock. So I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. And I said, oh, no. She would be getting me pregnant.
The emperor has no
clothes. Do you have a vagina now? And I said, never say never. And then I tell my mom, and she goes, I would just love to see you own property one day. And in California, that's sort of, a parent's dream. It's not having kids or getting married. It's are you able to own a house? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. I recently told my parents that
this is not, I'm sure Dylan thought this was a shtick back in April, and now the world has taken seriously what could only have been intended to be a shtick. So I recently told my parents I'm attracted to women, despite the fact that I came out as gay, which means that I was a man attracted to men. But now that I think, if he's a woman, is he not still gay? If in his own mind he thinks he's a woman and wants to be regarded as a woman, and trans women are women, and he's attracted to women now, doesn't that still make him gay? Maybe it does. Maybe that's the whole double fakey irony. In order for him to remain being gay, as he was his entire life, because he says he's a woman now, well, then he can't be attracted to men because that would make him heterosexual, trans hetero. Anyhow, try to piece it together, but listen to this. Okay.
I recently told my parents that I may be a little bit romantically interested in women. And that was a big shock for them, considering the past 10 years of coming out as gay.
Gay because I'm a man attracted to men.
Then queer, then non-binary, then trans.
Okay.
And I think it was just a bit of a shock.
Yeah, to everybody with half a brain.
So I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant.
I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. I would love to see you have a kid. That's what his dad just said to him. Son, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant, have a kid, and a life that most people consider a happy life. Maybe, and if that's not a happy life for Dylan, all the best. His dad says, I wish you would have a kid.
I said, oh, no. She would be getting me pregnant.
Can you imagine this father gave birth, he didn't give birth to Dylan, had a kid who's a boy and a gay man at that, now telling his dad, no, Dad, she's going to get me pregnant. Is it a shtick or is it antagonism for the father who says, I just want you to have a kid. I want you to be happy in life, based on my traditional understanding of happy. No, Dad, she's going to get me pregnant. Okay, son.
And then he said, what, do you have a vagina now? And I said, never say never.
As if having a vagina would enable Dylan Mulvaney to get pregnant. A neo-vagina, I believe, is the word.
And then I tell my mom,
this is where it gets...
I would just love to see you own property one day. And in California, that's sort of, a parent's dream. It's not having kids.
I'm sorry, was it a parent's dream? He's hard done by. I'm stopping there. It's hard. He's a victim. It's a parent's dream that all they want their kid to do is own property. They don't want their kids to have children. Oh, I'm sorry. Did your dad just not say 5 seconds ago that he just wished you would have a kid? It's, when I was in high school and I had to read a book as part of a detention called Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Man's Search for Meaning. How do people survive through the most atrocious, horrendous, inhumane conditions and still find meaning in life both during the suffering and after? We live in an era where it's now man's search for victimhood, because that's the only way, and it's the cheapest, easiest, most accessible way for anyone to attain social status, social currency, not through accomplishments, not through overcoming adversity, but through fabricating adversity, fabricating victimhood, so that you can then claim to be a victim of it, to overcome victimhood that you manufactured for yourself. And it's such victims. All that his parents wanted him to do is have a kid. That's what his father said. I'm a victim because all my mother ever wanted me to do is own property. That's all parents in California care about, except for my father. Now that we've cleansed our palate on that, people, I think we've cleansed our palate enough.